everybody who desires to have a child must also desire to be a coach to that child.
Right.
If you have a child, you automatically step into the position of a coach to that child. What does a coach do? In the locomotive, what does a coach do? It transports you from where you are to where you want to go. That's what the coach does. So you sit in the coach, in the train. You sit, that's box that you sit in is called a coach. You sit in the coach. Now, it is from that sector that sportsmen, athletes borrowed the word coach. If you help the child to gain that educational knowledge, the child goes to school, gains some education, comes back home. You do lessons with the child. Lesson in English, lesson in mathematics, lesson in geography, lesson in this, lesson in that. You are only extending what the child has learned in school. You are not doing any different from what they are doing. When the child has knowledge with chemistry, they're very good with chemistry. What they have is knowledge.
Yes.
Knowledge is not enough to make money. But knowledge can be productized to bring money. So let the child know what to do with chemistry that can bring them money. And I'm not saying teaching. Of a child that got his part of the inheritance. He was living in a room and parlor, self-contained, but he left that place and went to to stay in a hotel for 3 months.
Wow.
Yes, because he got his part of inheritance about, I think 6 million. So yeah, he stayed in the hotel for 3 months.
Luxury.
Well, long story short, after the 3 months,
Money finish.
he had to be begging to eat.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live podcast, Your Safe Space. I am your host, Messi Jumbo, and with me is my co-host.
Happy on you.
All right, today we are going to take off from where we stopped on our last episode. And we spoke about money mind shift with a very amazing person, the person of Olabanabas. And yes, we have him here with us today. And I am very certain that we learned a lot from the last episode. He spoke about how we can plan, even as a salary earner. I and some other persons, I believe, do have this mindset that it's almost impossible for a salary earner to be wealthy. But he gave a way or a means by which it is possible to be wealthy even as a salary earner, no matter what you earn. All right. So if you have not watched that, please just pause this one, go back, watch that, learn, and continue from here. All right. So today we are going to be talking about introducing wealth mindset to children, and he's going to be telling us about that. All right. Welcome, sir. Once again, we are very delighted to have you.
Honored.
Yes. And
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
yes. So let's take it up from here. So what do you think about introducing wealth, the mindset to children? Is it cool? Is it okay? Do you accept it?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I think that getting children to begin to think correctly about money is not something you set a date on. It's something you start doing the moment you notice they have hand to collect money from you. The moment they can stretch out their hand and say, Daddy, give me money for this, they know they need this. So they need to know how the money that buys this comes. They need to know how to protect that money, grow the money, and whatever lessons come with that. I have a book out there that, that will be released sometime later this year. Maybe in the course of our Pearl conference for this year, we'll probably have the book out. Okay. It's a book I wrote on financial intelligence for children. All right. I think I call it money and parenting or something, something like that. It's going to be out.
Can we pre-order?
We can, but actually, we are done with the first phase of the writing now. The manuscript ready, so we'll go into the editorials and then the printing eventually. Before Pearl conference, we will have it out. All right. So I will take my thought line from a biblical passage. It says, "Train up a child in the way he should go." The word "train" there is capable of several interpretations. But I'd like to also give a background to the word "train." The word train is from the locomotive, is from the railway, all right, from transport. When you say a train, you talk about the coach in the train. So the various interpretations are this. Train signifies movement, right? It signifies non-stop, because it is just when you see a train, the only way you're able to really define it is that you find it doing the quick, and it's going like that. All right. Number two is that when you say a train, there is a portion of the train that is yours, which is the coach in which you sit. So that's, for me, is very instructive. Why? So everybody who desires to have a child must also desire to be a coach to that child.
Right.
If you have a child, you automatically step into the position of a coach to that child. What does a coach do? In the locomotive, what does a coach do? It transports you from where you are to where you want to go. That's what the coach does. So you sit in the coach, in the train. You sit, that's box that you sit in is called the coach. You sit in the coach. Now, it is from that sector that sportsmen, athletes borrowed the word coach. All right. So when you hear somebody say, this is my coach, they are saying, this is the person that brings me from where I am to where I want to go. This is the person that helps me to gain new skills, gain new techniques, and all of that. That makes me this new person that I want to become. So you find that somebody does not succeed with a particular coach. They change the coach.
Right.
And then the new coach helps them to gain what they are looking for. What does the coach do? The coach instructs. The coach trains with. The coach guides. The coach, sometimes it's not even about the sport itself. The coach has a psychological talk session with the sports person. What are they helping them to do? To get better, to move from where they are to where they want to go. So when you hear train up a child, it is not just saying raise the child. Raising is a comprehensive word. Training is a comprehensive word. It's a comprehensive word. So you are moving the child as a train. You are helping the child know what the child should know. And this is comprehensive, money inclusive. Money inclusive. If you help the child to get that educational knowledge, the child goes to school, gains some education, comes back home. You do lessons with the child. Lesson in English, lesson in mathematics, lesson in geography, lesson in this, lesson in that. You are only extending what the child has learned in school. You are not doing any different from what they are doing.
Right.
There are other parts that the child will not get in school. They should get at home. Because the child's learning should be a complete learning. It is possible for a child to be academically very sound and financially very stupid. Do not make your child into that. Once the child can go to school and learn English, mathematics, whatever, let them come on and learn the other one. That means that the parent himself or whoever it is now, word, guardian, whatever, that is raising that child has to know enough about what they're going to teach the child. Otherwise, expose that child to somebody who can train him or her in that area. So this is instructive. That's what I think should lay the foundation for how we relate to our children when it comes to money matters. I help my children with their academics, with their English, with their mathematics and all of that. I help them. But it's just for me because they have to do it. That my teacher says he's going to flog me if I don't do this. Okay, so let's do it.
Let's do it.
So that you don't get flogged. But otherwise, I would rather talk to you about other things.
Yeah.
So money. We talk to children about money. Let them know how money comes. Because when your child comes and, mommy, give me money. I want to buy biscuits. You give. Give me money. I want to buy. So what the child understands money to be is an instrument to purchase.
Yes.
Give me, I want to buy. Buy me this. Buy. So an instrument of purchase. That is one thing the child understands money to be. But there are other things that the child must know about money beyond what the money can do. It starts with how the money itself comes. So how does money come? When you ask most children, how does money come? They probably don't even understand. It comes from my dad. That's the only thing they know.
Daddy's pocket.
My daddy gives money to my mommy so she can buy things Or my mommy gives me money so I can. That's all they understand. But how does it come? What process leads to getting money? What do you do so that money can come? What can you do to make more than you are currently making and on? These are the things you must have with your child. So it's a session. This is not a one-day thing. It's something you would sit down with your child as often as possible when the child asks for money. And you have taken that opportunity to explain to your child, look, this money you're asking for to buy biscuit for 300 naira or 400 naira. We have to go to work and work. When we work, we make so and so amount of money. Out of that money you're asking for this, so how much is left? Sometimes let the child be involved in the decision, money decision.
I think that's one of the things that parents really have to be intentional about. We don't
You have to be.
Them
you have to be.
Yes.
Let them be involved in money-making decisions. This is how you're going to know your child really protects their own money. Let them save, right? Give them a piggy bank. Let them save. When they break that piggy bank and they bring the money, ask them for that money so you can go and buy.
Right.
The same thing they're asking to go and buy.
Right.
You will see that child protecting that money.
Yes.
And you'll be wondering, oh, okay, my own money is the one that is meant for purchasing, not yours. So they understand how to protect, but they don't know how it comes.
Yeah.
They only know you as the source, and it's wrong for you to present yourself as the source.
Right.
Let them know how else. All right. So introduce them to as many areas: work, investment, this, that, and that.
Yeah.
Introduce them to all of this. If you have an establishment where you can expose your children to, I had a farm. I'll take my children to the farm. All right. Go clean up. Go see how fish is produced. See how fish grows. Yeah. If you want to harvest, this is how you harvest. Yes, learn it. Because this is the thing we do that produces money.
Yes,
I have a publishing outfit. We go there. We pack books from the printer to the store. I will carry, they will carry. It is these activities that produce money.
Yeah.
So I am orientating them and exposing them to the avenues by which money comes. I do not subscribe to the fact that because you suffered, your children should, they don't have to be exposed to the similar things you were exposed to. Things were tough in your time, but you survived it.
Yeah.
You don't have to transfer the aggression or the same pain to your children. No, they didn't beg to come.
Yes.
All right?
Yes, sir.
They didn't beg to come. So now that you're here, do the best that you can to coach them along this line. How does money come and how does money grow? Money coming in is one thing. Money growing is another thing. How does money grow? What do you do with money that it grows? Investment. How do you invest? How do you know a good investment from a bad one? How do you make the right decisions about money such that the money, the investment you are making will come back good? As you may not be able to determine everything because you don't know all risk factors.
Right.
There are a lot of uncertainties, but how can you, as much as possible, reduce the possibility of failure of an investment? Your child has to be, introduced to that. They have to know it. They have to know it. What do you invest into? The people you're investing with, for example, what do they do with the money that makes it grow and come back? How do you sell? How do you buy at 2 naira and sell at 4 naira? What do you tell the customer that will make them buy from you what they could have bought from another person? Gradually, you're introducing them to it. And if it's work that you go to and you collect your payment at the end of 30 days, let them know my every day of going to work is accumulated into 30 days at the end of the day and I get a paycheck for it. This is how it works. So when they understand how money comes, how money grows, they should then understand how money should be spent. Because they will have no regard for the money that comes from you if they do not know how it comes.
Right. I have this theory, correct me if I'm wrong. I think one of the reasons why people struggle when it comes to making money or starting up businesses is because of this foundation that they did not have as children. So I think you have less people coming for forums or conferences to learn over and over and over again
scratch
how to start a business. If these things are intentionally instilled in children right from
because one of the things you will gain with your child when you introduce them to these things early, one of the things you will gain with them is that you will gain risk ability. their ability to want to undertake risk will be far higher than yours. You know, the fears that you had that made you delay, instead of starting investing at 15 or 16 or 17, you know, you didn't even start until you were 35 or 40, you know, for whatever fears, they would not have that fear. You must do that because of that. Another thing you will gain is the fact that they are going into a much faster world than you grew up in. They are growing into a world that does not understand work in the manner that you understand it. You know, going to work 30 days before you get paid. No, they don't know that. They are not going to know that. The generation of children we are giving birth to and we are raising today, Gen Alphas, are not going to understand work as money as a component of 30 days work. They will not understand it like that. They will understand money as a component of every activity that they do. So per hour, per activity based pay will resonate more with them than per month pay system. So if you introduce them to these things early, you increase their ability to undertake certain kind of risk, to undertake certain kind of decisions, to take those steps. And then you want to produce children that are competitive. Not children that are lagging behind in knowledge, in ability to push, in ability to take risk. You know, I will be shocked, utterly shocked, if my child is unable to take certain decisions because they fear they're going to lose. I'll be shocked. I mean, lose. If you're not losing, what are you doing? Lose. Already lose. Yeah. Lose. How do you learn if you don't lose? So I'll be shocked because I want my children to undertake certain things. That's why when they do certain things, it's okay. Fail, it's okay. I don't fund those kind of things so much. I just want them to be able to, you know, on their own, be able to say, okay, this is what I want to do. That is what you think. This is what I think. Go ahead and do it.
Okay, now I want us to get to value and wealth. Okay, you have this mindset of make money. How do you make money? So I would like us to touch on teaching children how to create value and marry it with identifying what their individual giftings. To help them to create value to make wealth.
Exactly. I think you already hit the nail on the head, because when you talk of value creation, it is not completely isolated from purpose discovery. Everybody who will create or add value to humanity is that person who has discovered first their own purpose for being around. If you have not answered the question of who am I, why am I here on earth, you will not be able to add value in a manner that will be beneficial to both you and the people out there, because purpose itself is tied around three things. First, you bring satisfaction to your own life. Two, you answer the questions of humanity. Three, you bring glory to God. These are the three criteria. These are the three components of a purpose. So when you are able to do these three, you can say you have found purpose. And there's no way you do these three and you will not add value to humanity. So first, it starts with helping your child to discover their purpose. And again, this is a deeper discussion, but I'm just going to, try and scratch the surface. When a child is manifesting certain tendencies, for example, they like to draw. Every book is a drawing book for them. Everywhere is a canvas. Everywhere is a canvas. If you have a child like that, the tendency for you to think, out of all the profession in this world, you choose fine art. The tendency for a parent to think like that of their child is very high. But you see, the child that draws is not necessarily going to end up as an artist, a fine artist. It's just manifesting the tendency for creativity. And the only expression that they have for that tendency is through the images they create, wherever they create them. That same child can end up an architect, because an architect draws, right?
Yes.
That same child can end up a design engineer.
Yes. They
can design machines and all of those things. They can end up an AI specialist, creating softwares that like DALL-E and the rest of them that can create images, powerful images for us. Adobe Fly, they can end up as those. So it's just for you to discover, okay, this is the tendency my child is manifesting. What purpose can humanity get from this? How will it bring him satisfaction? And how will it bring glory to God? It doesn't have to be cast in stone. Like, of course, it could be fine as. Yeah, it could be fine as at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Nothing like, people have galleries today. Go to Lagos, you see galleries that for you to buy an artwork, you're paid about 4 million, 5 million to buy an artwork. Yes. To buy one artwork. And you see somebody who was labored for 3 months, 6 months, designing these artworks, and people, they open the gallery, people come buy artwork, and what they have gained in one day, what you have worked in 10 years, you have not gained. So that could be very creative. Lucrative rather. I'm saying that you may not just draw a line and say, this is what this child is by what they are manifesting. It is usually too early for us to tell.
Right.
Usually too early. 10 years, 15 years, you can't tell yet. You can't tell yet. Let the child continue to grow. Yeah. As they grow, they will discover more. So, yes, help them find purpose in whatever they're doing. Help them find purpose in it. Number 2, help them to discover that whatever purpose they have found or discovered must bring with it benefits to people. Because if making money is the only song you sing to the ear of your child, the day that child finds that it is to cut the head of somebody that will make the money come faster, you should not blame them. Mm-hmm. Making money. So how does money come? Whichever way. Anyway. So help them to realize that in discovering purpose, they have to bring value. What does value mean? Whatever answers an existing question, that's value. There's an existing question. There's an existing issue. Yes. So that thing you're bringing is a solution to that question, is a solution to that issue. So that thing answers to it. That's value. And it could come in the form of a product. It could come in the form of a service. It could come in the form of anything. Help them to know that they must bring value to humanity. People must look at what they do and be grateful to God on their behalf.
Kingdom, instilling kingdom mindedness as well.
Yes. Yes.
In the course of all this. So, yes,
that's the part of bringing glory to God, right? Because whatever you do, it does not go back to the source. Yeah. It's not enough.
So now, children, once they understand a thing, they can. It's either they're enthusiastic about it or they are not.
Yes.
So trying to make them understand, okay, yes, we do this to give God glory without making it seem mechanical. Just like, okay, we go to church Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Why? Fellowship, routine. Thank you. So it becomes mechanical at some point.
Yeah.
And they don't find joy in it. So how do we instill that kingdom mindedness such that we preserve their joy? They enjoy doing it. It's something that by default they just enjoy doing it. They jump at it.
So it's for them to understand the purpose behind what you're doing, including going to church. Let them understand the purpose behind it. Purpose, when understood, defines everything. It defines everything. Why do we go to church? Let them understand the purpose behind it. Let them understand the purpose behind it. Why do we go to church? Because we owe our lives to God. We serve God. God created us to serve Him. So whichever way it requires for us to do it, as enunciated in His word, that's how we do it. The word says, do not neglect the gathering of God's people. So that's one way God expects us to express our service to Him, our love to Him. You do it for that purpose. Let them understand the purpose behind it. Let them understand the manual that guides them. I would expect that it's more beneficial to parents when they allow their children to discover God for themselves. Mm-hmm. You introduce God to them. You tell them God's ways. You teach them God's ways as much as you can. Give them room to also discover God for themselves. Give them template that they can work with, but open it up. Open it up. If you force them, a point will come when they will become their own persons and they will make their own decisions. You may not like the way to turn out. So you pushing it down their throat because they are their father. Everything you say, they must do. You are their mother. As far as you have said it, it must hold what? Oh, okay. The time will come when they will grow up and leave the house. Yeah. And then they will be their own parents, as it were. They will retort less to you for decisions. They will make their own decisions. And then at that point, whatever they make out of it, it will be too terrible for you to change.
Right. You spoke about saving. Now, I know that as children, most of the time it is difficult for them to save.
Yeah.
Because they want to, whenever they have money, little money, they just want to buy that thing that they want to eat, or they want to get a toy or whatever.
Yes.
So how do you coach them and make them see reasons why they should save? How do you coach them to save? Or
maybe like practical steps.
Yes.
For maybe life experiences that you allow them to see.
Okay. Okay. So I think you can teach them better from your experience, right? If you've saved towards something and you were able to achieve that thing by savings, you can let them know that, okay, look, this car, I had to save towards it. That was why I was able to buy it. If I didn't save towards this car, I would not be able to get it. So if you want to get something that you wanted, maybe whatever it is that they say they want, you have to save towards it and let them enjoy the benefit of whatever they say they are saving towards.
Yeah.
Give them that benefit. For a start, if they say they are saving towards a particular kind of toy, when they have that money, let them buy that toy.
Yeah.
It instills in them, they believe that, okay, so I can save towards anything.
Yeah.
And then on our part, integrity.
Yes, of course. Parents, especially mothers. Yeah. Especially, so do not just take it away from them.
Yeah.
Do not just take it away from them. Let them feel the benefit of having saved towards that thing. And then again, right, you play a role of a guidance, right?
Yes, sir.
Or a guide throughout the whole process. What do I mean? Sometimes children go to school. I know my boys do this sometimes. They go to school and they did not spend their money. So they come back home without money. And then now that they have come back home, they now want to go and buy that thing. So you give them money for snacks. They went to school, they didn't buy snacks. They had food, they went to school with it, but they came back home and I said, Daddy, I have my money. I want to go and buy my snacks now. So I'm like, okay, why do you need the snacks now? I know, but the money is for snacks.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying it's not, but why do you need the snacks? Because I'm hungry. Well, you're going to have lunch. You are home now. You had your breakfast. You had meal in school. Now you're going to have lunch. So if you buy snacks, would you rather snacks than lunch or lunch than snacks? Now, the benefit is this. If you have lunch, you can still have your money.
Yeah.
But if you buy your snacks, you're going to lose your money.
And lunch.
So which would you want? And then they're like, okay, but tomorrow I will make sure I spend my money in school. Okay, no problem. But save this one first,
Yes.
And then, I tried it with my boys. And at the time when they broke their piggy bank at the close of last year, okay, the one who did it more had more money in the piggy bank than the other one. So it was a bragging point. Oh my God. He bragged for days on end. He would carry the bunk up because he was now wrapped in rubber band. So he would carry it in his hand and move for the other one to see that he was richer. So, children just need to know that these things actually work.
Yeah.
They need to see it. It is this small habit that they will grow up with. I'm not saying that every child who has ever had a piggy bank will grow up and maintain the habit, but most of them will.
Our personalities are different.
Exactly. Experiences in life, exposures, a lot of things will come into play. Eventually, that would define how children eventually behave. But you see, there are some things when you introduce in them early, they can become predictable.
Yeah.
You can say, at least I know that even if he misses it, he will come back to this.
True.
He's been trained with it.
And I love the fact that from what you're saying, it's important to have conversations with them.
Yeah.
Very.
Conversations, not that you're dismissing them or trying to impose your thoughts, your own methods, on their lives. You have conversations that will get them to think.
Yeah.
And then they give you feedback.
Yeah, there are things you have to force them to accept.
Definitely.
Children are children, all right?
Values.
You cannot put the brain of a 27-year-old on a 2-year-old. It's impossible, all right? There are some things you have to force them to adopt. They may not understand it. They will eventually. But let it not be that everything has to come by way of, you have to do this.
Yeah.
You must do this. Especially when it comes to this, because it's something that will be useful for them even in the future.
What do you think about the reward? I mean, like, you get them to do chores and they reward. What do you think about that?
Okay, well, I have not practiced that with my children.
Okay.
I've only gotten to realize that they cannot be in the house and I'm doing certain kind of things for them.
Yes, sir.
For example, you used your books and you littered your room with your books. I cannot pick up your books for you. It's not.
Okay.
I don't have to tell you there's a possibility of reward if you pick up your books. I think if anything at all, the possibility that you're going to get flogged for not picking up your books. Yeah, for me, that's it. All right.
Yes.
But then there are some things, some habits you want them to gain, some things you want them to start doing, but it will not be successful easily. I mean, I don't even know if I said that right, but you will not make a success of that thing easily with them until a reward system is introduced.
Right.
Okay. Your child is doing very poorly, and you know that the child has the potential, the capacity is there, but the child is just not, it's not just not, you know.
Yeah.
So you may introduce reward. If you beat this record of yours, you will get this. And then watch that child. That might just be the only thing the child needs. Before you see that child manifest and you're wondering, whoa, I didn't know that this was there. I remember a senior friend told me that the son was doing very poorly in maths and they did everything they could, including getting an extra teacher and everything. The child was just not. It was just, this maths, we must fail it, Nisha. You know, until a day he told the child, okay, I know you don't like maths, but you see, if you do very well with maths, this term I'll get you a bicycle. Well, long story short, that child came third in maths.
Wow.
In that class. The same child, the same subject, but a reward system broke something. You know, so there are times when rewards will work. There are times when you have to adopt other methods. But generally, let them know what is expected of them to do. Your child is growing up. They have to be introduced to doing chores, cleaning their house. There's no need for reward in that. It's something they have to know how to do. Yeah, chores includes everything: sweeping, doing the dishes,
To people,
everything.
helping
Yeah. That includes, you know, respecting people when you see them. If I'm with my child and we meet an elderly person and I greet and my child does not greet, I will tell them, why have you not greeted? Why did you not greet? Oh, the person will be there because I want them to learn to do it.
Yes.
And so they're okay. Good afternoon, sir. Yeah, that's how you do it. You know, and then gradually I see them changing on their own. In fact, one time I was the one that told me, it's okay. We were going on the way. He was greeting everybody that passed.
Yes.
Was a victim of his greeting.
That's all for you.
That's why it's not like that. I didn't say you should greet good, so greet, but do it with, you know. So I was the one who had to do that.
Yeah.
So that's the point. That's the point.
All right. I had to know. You know, there are some kids that are not really interested in business.
Yeah.
They just go book.
Mm.
They love reading.
Mm.
They want to study. I have one of my younger sisters. When the son is talking about selling this, there was one time we had to change her school because she had they didn't have a chemistry teacher. And I was wondering, when I didn't have chemistry teacher, I was happy.
You were
because
happy.
it was free period for us, but she was pestering everybody in the house. She was to change the school. There's no chemistry teacher. And she was almost depressed. We had to change her school. So to some parents, they'll feel this child, what can come out of, okay, we just studying, education, no business, interest. What can bring money? Because most of us now, right now, we have the idea that what brings money more now is skill or being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But the Monday to Friday, it's
Okay,
not
so
lucrative.
you are touching something.
How do we? Some parents will be bothered.
Yeah.
Yes, they are excited that the child is doing well, but they are bothered about the future.
So I think that you are touching something that's very, very dear to the essence of this discussion itself. I'll be glad if I have a son or a daughter who is so keen on their books. I would not have a problem with that. I know you think I will, but I will not. Because I know what to do.
Okay.
All right. And this is what I'm going to do.
Knowing what to do.
If you have a child that is so interested in a particular thing, be grateful because the child has already made it easy for you to choose to help them go in a particular direction. They're not making decisions about their future difficult.
Yeah.
If you have to be thinking, what kind of child is this? What will this child want? Then that's a problem. But a child has shown you that book is the way. It's easy. So for you to introduce elements that will bring in more money than book alone will bring is this thing I'm going to mention now. Let the child learn how to productize what they know. Yes. When the child has knowledge with chemistry, they're very good with chemistry. What they have is knowledge.
Yes.
Knowledge is not enough to make money. But knowledge can be productized to bring money. So let the child know what to do with chemistry that can bring them money. And I'm not saying teaching. And I'm not saying again that teaching is wrong. But I'm saying that there is a way you can begin to sell chemistry that will bring money for you. For example, go online now, you have Facebook tutors. Somebody teaches mathematics. They were probably like those kind of children.
Yes.
Who loved mathematics so much that it became...
You can use anything to teach you.
You know?
Yes.
So now, you see them, they have their pages. And they teach you math. And you wonder, wow, this same thing, I thought it was this difficult. But you see, they are earning on that page. They have productized their knowledge. You can have a YouTube page where you're teaching computer. Your child loves computer so much, but he doesn't know what to do with it. They can productize it. So you imagine a 10-year-old, 20-year-old, 15, 12, right? 14, that has a page where they are teaching their colleagues. They know the language they will speak, that their mate will understand better.
Yes. True.
So that chemistry that child loves so much, they can begin to teach that same chemistry to their peers all over the world on their page. They can explain it in their own terms, use their own Gen Z or Gen Alpha languages and everything. They have productized it. So you find that in loving book, that child is making money. So it's just to know what to do. If I have a child like that, that's exactly what I'm going to do to that child. I'm not going to wait until you finish. In fact, by the time you are through with the university, you're already
A big man or woman.
you're already making money with the course. So
Right.
that's for me. That's how to go about it.
Never thought about it like this.
So I came across a video. There's this renowned person, maybe not. I'll mention the person's name, and said something about him flying business class. So he said when he's traveling with his son, he flies business class, but puts his child in economy.
Okay.
So he just to let the child know that he's the dad and he's the one working. The child is not working. So the child is just privileged. So he should stay in economy with others in economy. So paraphrasing what he said. So, okay, let me hear your thoughts on that before I say what I think. Or should it be the other way around?
I would not know why he's doing that.
Okay.
Because this reason you have given may not be enough for me.
Okay.
So maybe there's another reason.
He came from a humble beginning.
Okay.
So he feels like because he's the one doing all the work, he's the one making the money.
Yeah.
The child is, I think,
Relaxed.
I think the child should be a teenager or a teenager into adulthood. So he's not the one making money.
Yeah.
These were his words. This child is not the one making money. So he is the one making money. So the child should sit in economy with every other person in economy. So he, that is a business person making money, can sit in.
Yeah, we all have our decisions. We all have our choices that we'll make about it. But I will not decide like him. I will not choose like him. To start with, if you can fly, you have money.
Yeah.
To start with, right? So that's the child is sitting in economy. It does not mean that those who are sitting in economy are not making money.
Right.
There are those who are making much more than he's making, but will not fly a business class.
True.
They will stay in that economy.
Yes.
So I don't think that for me, I don't know his reasons. For me, I think there are underlying issues that he's not talking about.
Okay.
You know,
So personally, okay, go ahead.
if he really wants to maybe let the child know how people should feel when they don't make money, he should make the child trek.
Yeah. Because it's simply.
You know, that's how you treat not making money. But if this other one is what we're talking about, then no. Even if you're driving a car, you have to have money to go to the park, to enter a vehicle that takes you to wherever you're going. So you're definitely making some amount of money.
Right.
I think there are other ways to instill the values, to train that child, to let them know.
Yeah.
There are other ways.
That's actually my take on what he said, because I feel like there's something it does to the child's mind.
Yes.
I personally think that your child can fly business class with you, but because of the values you've instilled in the child will still have respect and compassion for whoever it is that is in economy. So they don't see themselves bigger or higher than whoever
I
is
think
in
that
economy.
can make a child mean. I think so.
See all
Yes,
those
because the child
less
can
than
grow
them.
up and feel if you are not working, you don't deserve better.
Okay, you see, the thing is this. There are decisions that we make today. There are choices that we make today, or ways we even think today, that are influenced by the background that we have had.
True.
But in spite of our backgrounds, we can also come to a point where we're making decisions that are probably more beneficial to the people around us, our children inclusive. If I fly in a first class, maybe to be dependent on how much I have, to choose where my son sits or doesn't sit. We both can be in economy.
Together.
We both can be in business.
That's
Yes,
better.
All right. If we both are in business, how about making my child see the benefit of hard work being in business?
Right.
If you make more money, you can be entitled to this without me having to buy the ticket for you.
Right.
How about them? How about making my child have access to people who are probably my peers or greater than me, who only sit in business class? For example, if we go to the lounge at the airport and we stay in the exclusive place, part of the lounge, and my child sits in that place, and they see the quality of people that sit there, they can have access to them. There's some persons you will never meet until you access certain places that they're always staying. So if I deny my child that, am I also not setting a limit to, some kind of progress that they can make in their lives? There are different ways we can approach this. So for me, the child will not be mean. Being mean is a factor of what values you raise that child with.
Yes. It still goes back to values.
Yes. If a child is raised to look down on people, even if they do not have money, they will still be mean to people.
Right.
If a child is made to feel that because they have this, then they are better than people, their friends who don't have it, even if they are poor, they will still have the tendency to be mean to those who are as poor as they are or poorer than them. It's about values. So let the child know for me, look, bring up the child correctly.
Right.
Train correctly. Do it in such a way that the child can see you being kind to people.
Yes.
My son was asking me this morning, coincidentally, when I was taking them to school, that, Daddy, why do you still do Pearl Conference anyway? Why do you still do Pearl Conference? You spend your money. You are the one who rents the hall. You are the one who buys the this. You are the one who does this. You are the one who does that. And the people, they only have to spend their transport. I'm choosing his words. They only spend their transport when they come. So why do you still do it? And I looked at him and I said, there are some things you do for yourself. There are some things you do for posterity. This one, I may not be able to have the direct answer to your question, but I'm doing it for posterity. What I do benefits mankind. It brings me fulfillment. When people succeed as a result of what I said to them, it brings me fulfillment. When people make marks in life because they got the message at Pearl Conference or wherever else I spoke, it brings me fulfillment. I can't, we have missionaries who would leave their families and go to the hinterlands, go to the villages where they will not see their families for the next 6 months. They will be sick in those places, drink the dirtiest of waters you will see. And what benefit does it bring to them directly? For some, they get sick and die in the process.
Yes.
We have missionaries who brought the message of the gospel to Nigeria and died by mosquito bites.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So if their families were to sit back and say, what did they bring to us? They would never have the gospel
Right.
in the manner that we have it today.
Sure.
So children must be raised with that. They must learn that it is not everything that results in naira and kobo, dollars and cents and pounds. And it's not everything. Some things you do have greater worth than money can buy.
Sure.
They have to be raised with that.
Okay, so let's tie this up with this last thing, which is everything that you said so far, showing them how to make it generational or transgenerational wealth and sustain it through generations.
How do you transfer this wealth from one child to the other, to the other, to the other? I'll take a model. And it's cross-cultural, cross-country, intercontinental, actually. If you visit Asia, specifically, take a country like China or Japan, you will find companies, organizations that are family businesses and have lasted 100, 200, 300 years. If you visit our side of eternity in Africa, come down home to Nigeria and point at a business that is over 100 years old. That is not a PLC. Because a PLC is listed on the stock market. So the owner is everybody who bought a share. And everybody meets in an AGM, choose the next set of leaders, and so it continues like that. The board of directors are there to make sure that the business is running very well. And if there's nothing, they can come for an EGM, an extraordinary general meeting, and they can vote a new set of leaders, and the business continues. So everybody's brain is running the business. But when it's family business, it is not to the public.
Yes, sir.
It is for the family, for the individual. But you find that a lot of parents, they grow up children and they dissociate them from the business. How? They are raising the children, sending them to the best of schools outside of their town. Some of them abroad. And hoping that that child will one day come back home and take over the business. The business the child has not been indoctrinated or inducted into early enough. Wrong model. Very wrong model. What works is this. The moment that child knows how to use things, can make decisions, can make little decisions for themselves, begin to bring them into the business. If you have a hotel, for example, as a business, there are so many departments. There is the F&B, there is the laundry, there is the restaurant, there is the that. Your child should serve in all of those departments at different times. During holidays, what do they do with the holidays? Let them come serve there. Intern, whatever name you want to call it. Volunteer. In fact, pay them.
Yes.
Put them on the payroll. Let them serve there. You have a farm. Let your child be involved. You have a sales center. You sell something, a shop. Let the child get in there. Let them begin to see that this is how this thing works. This is what is possible with this thing. If we are able to do this, we can get it to the next level. I've seen businesses that have gone from father to son and are doing extremely well. Look, I give you GIG. God is good motors. It's on the second generation right now. I think probably going to the third generation. You know, and that's a Nigerian business. Look at Tribune newspaper. It's probably in the third generation right now. Tribune is one of the oldest businesses we have in Nigeria. I think it's probably close to 100 years old or something. Well, maybe 80 or 90, I don't know, I can't. But it's one of the oldest businesses we have in Nigeria. You know, look at the Dantata group. It is it has its own frackings, but there is that model that works for them. It's been passed on from generation because you do not see the children completely going away from the business in the name of going to school and doing other things, and then they are completely dissociated. Do not do that. You want your business, you want your wealth to be transgenerational. Bring your children into it early. Now, I am not saying, again, that the children must do that. They have their choices to make. Starting your business is your life. It was your purpose. Probably you are manifesting through the business or whatever it is that you're doing. That was you. Your children can accentuate it. They can take it further, but they don't have to. So if they choose to opt out, which I bet is going to be a difficult decision for them if you put it right.
Yeah.
But if they choose to,
It's fine.
but build the business in such a way that on itself, it can outlive you. How? Have a team you're working with. One of the most important decisions you can make, apart from being able to start the business, is getting the right team on the business at every point in time. That's one of the most important decisions you can make in the life of any business. You're starting a business, you don't have the right team, you will regret starting it. So once you are able to start a business, before you even start the business, start thinking of the team to work with. The team to work with. People who buy into your spirit. People who carry your vision. People who will run with your ideas. People who understand your motive for that business. Who can work with it and take care of them. Now, do not treat them as staff.
Okay.
If you want somebody to further what you're doing and you treat them as a paycheck material, they will always be one. Don't do that. You can't. I would rather that you eat 10% of a million than take 100% of 100. So if that business can have partners, bring them in as partners. They have shown you, worked with you 15 years, 20 years. They have shown you commitment. I mean, how much more life do they have? They have given 20 years of their life to your business.
Yes.
Bring them in. Bring them in as partners. Let them see that, look, this is our thing.
Yeah.
This is us. And it doesn't have to be one big thing, right?
Yes.
4% here, depending on the size of business. 5% here. Max
Give them a
10%
sense of
here.
value.
You retain the most part. But you will get commitment in perpetuity.
Right.
Even their own children, they can bring it to that business.
Yeah.
And before you do it, that business goes from generation to generation. The third thing I'm going to say is this: have a model by which you pass on your spirit to the people. Have a model. In Japan, that I used as a model case earlier, people do not retire. So to say. All right. People get so old. You find people, it's not impossible for you to find people on wheelchairs that are being wheeled to work. You find a 90-year-old person going to work. 95, as far as they are alive, they go to work. They were the MDs, the GMs, some 10, 20, 30 years ago, but they are still coming to work. Why? Because now they have formed a pool of experience for those who are coming behind them.
Wow.
So when they go to work, younger ones can come to them
You're now consultants.
and pick their brain.
Wow.
So that's you. If you become that to the people, you're always available to them.
They stay relevant.
That's what happened. I saw a similar model happen. FCMB as a bank is in the second generation. I don't know whether it has entered the third, but I know it was in the second generation when Baba Subomi handed it over to his son, who became the MD for like 10 years or thereabout. Then there's another MD there now, So I don't know whether it's still the family line that is continuing, but there's a new generation coming in, maybe like the third generation or something. It's the same model. But before Baba died, his children are doing very well in various fields, but there's always that passing on of knowledge.
Yeah.
Passing on of knowledge. Always. You cannot have a business that you had the idea, you had the knowledge and everything, and you withdraw completely just because your son is there. Yes, let them run with their ideas, but you can be there to counsel and guide.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Just dropping wisdom, dropping
As in,
nuggets.
The reason some children will fail in life is because they have everything to succeed. That's the reason they will fail. If I'm your son, and I know that come what may, whatever you have, I'm going to have it. Why would I have to bother with anything, including going to school? There's no need now. After all, my father is the owner of Aso Rock, so I can enter anytime and pick whatever I want from it. Most fault lies with the parents. They have not been able to help their children to see that even though this thing I have can be yours, you have to qualify for it. It would be a shame for a parent to die and know that his child is reckless, yet he's transferring everything to that child. It's a shame. It's a shame. Hand it over to somebody who can further it and put it in trust for that child
Yes.
Let that child be collecting salary instead. Put it in trust. Because there are discount houses, there are so many establishments that can handle those organizations in trust. You have a real estate property all over the place. Put it in trust. Let the child go and be collecting money monthly because they are your child. It's okay. Otherwise, if you give them everything, they will sell it 5 years after the death of that parent. Yes. Everything is gone. Everything they worked for. So it's a shame. Why would you do that as a parent? So it's important that the child knows that they have to qualify for certain things they are looking forward to getting. The fact that you see $1 million in my account does not mean you will sign a check for it. No, sir. You will qualify. Can you handle $1 million? If what you can handle is $10,000, that's what you're going to get. The rest goes into something that can be working for you. I owe it to you to take care of you, but I don't owe it to you to take care of you forever. At a point, you must stand up for yourself. And if a child refuses to stand up and the parents still giving them everything, they are destroying them. In the name of love, you give your 14-year-old a car. Okay. Prepare also for ambulance. It's simple. So the other part of the question you asked is, what again?
What they do.
Business, involving family.
Yes, whether the business will survive or not. Yeah, I think it depends on the kind of business, the kind of family you have raised. Because it depends solely on the man. On the man. The man is not just a leader. He's also an instructor. If you, as a leader, you started a business, you cannot tell how much of your wife must come into that business. You are going to have a problem. The woman will think, this business is my husband's business, so I can do whatever I want to do.
Command.
When she does that, the staff will say, okay, your husband employed me, not you. So as far as it has anything to do with you, and I can tell you as somebody who has been on the field in consulting, it's a shame, right? But I have to admit it, that the reason why a lot of businesses are folding up and closing is for the same reason. The incursion of the wife or the husband into the business. The wife started a fashion business, but the husband felt like it's my wife. So he resumes there. As they are making sale, he's collecting it. And the sales guys cannot say no. After all, it's Oga's husband. With which money are we going to continue the business? So you must be able to define it. Instruct. This is how far you come. As the wife, yes, you are my wife. You are not the wife of my business. Right. You are my wife. Let it be well defined. If the woman has shown to be irresponsible with managing people, she will drive all your staff away, the best of them. And they will not be able to tell you that this is the problem, this is the reason why they are leaving you. They will just stop coming or resign quietly and go. They don't want to come into your family issues. So the man was able to define it. This is how far you come. This business, please, there is a no-go area. If you cannot stand your ground enough to define that, you will continually create problems. You have a son or children who are wayward. Yes, we had a family friend when we were growing up. You know, my dad, we had this family that was close to us at that time. Although we're not living in the same town, but, you know, once in a while when he came around I got to know him. And then when he died, his son would carry the refrigerator, go and deposit where he used to collect cigar, carry the AC, go and put it where he used to collect Igbo, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, for the only reason they had a roof over their head was because the mother carried the document of the house and took it away so that the son would not have access. So, and then it was just easy because the father had a lot of money and the children know that they had access to it. Nothing stopped them. It's the same error. The same error. Do not make a wayward child have access to everything that they will mismanage. It will not work for them. It will not work for them. Another one was told to me recently of a child that got his part of the inheritance. He was living in a room and parlor, self-contained, you know, but he left that place and went to to stay in a hotel for 3 months.
Wow.
Yes, because he got his part of inheritance about, I think, 6 million. So yeah, he stayed in the hotel for 3 months.
Luxury.
Well, long story short, after the 3 months,
Money finish.
he had to be begging to eat. Because in those 3 months, all the girls he carried all the girls, he ate all the pepper soup, he knew the best restaurant and everything. Would it not have been better to put that money in trust and let that child only have access to something per month while the money works for them?
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
I'm honored.
I believe that you had your jotter and your Bible. Because you can't just listen to all of this and put it in your mind.
Yeah.
You need to write them down. Yes.
I'll go to work immediately.
Yes.
Indeed.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. We're really honored
My
to
pleasure.
have you.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
for sharing this wonderful nuggets with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've learned a lot. I believe you have learned too. All right. For those that are yet to subscribe, please do so. Like and please share. Share. It will be wrong for you to just listen to this and just hide it for yourself. Please share to those that you believe will be blessed by this and will learn. All right.
Okay. You have a program coming up. I think it's an online coaching.
Yes, we do. Our public speaking coaching program, PSCP. Throughout the month of February, we'll have public speaking training for everybody in every field. Public speaking applies everywhere.
Yes.
You run podcasts, you do public speaking.
True.
You're a politician, you do public speaking. You're a preacher, a clergy, you do public speaking. You're
Even
a
as a
teacher,
parent,
you do even as a parent, you do public speaking. You're an educator, you sell, you're in sales, you are.
Right.
It's everything you do. Public speaking is involved. So I have discovered that if we have a 1 day or 2 days event on public speaking, is what I shared. It's like we're just scratching the surface. There's that part where you want to help people personally. What is it you really need? What are the things you're dealing with? What challenges do you face? How can you get better in public speaking? And it gives that one-on-one, with me as the coach, the lead coach. That's month of February. Throughout the month of February, we'll be having that training. So people I'll also drop that for you.
Right.
So people can come in, you register. And the good news is that for those who are coming in before February, we are giving a 50%,
Wow.
whooping 50% off, so people can be encouraged
Yeah.
to take up
Register.
this. I can guarantee one thing, among other things, you will be the one who will tell others.
Yes, sir.
Now, don't miss the next cohort. I'm telling you.
Early birds.
What's the registration fee?
All right. So, no. People have to register. They have to get in touch, but we're giving 50% off completely.
Okay.
All right.
We'll be giving the link.
Exactly.
Okay,
We'll drop the
there's a
link
link.
Yeah.
and then you can register. And then,
Okay.
so whether you are physically available or virtually available, I'm here for you.
Wow.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
that
you.
30% to invest this is a way.
Mhm.
Yes, this is a means of investing. So please
It is.
invest. All
It
right.
is.
Thank you so much for staying up until this hour, until this moment. I know, not I hope, I know you have learned. All right, so see you next on the next episode. Bye. God bless you.
Bye. And we love you.
Thank you.